News Talk, joined this afternoon by local historian Richard Williams, here to talk about his new book chronicling more than 238 years of the rich history of the village of Clinton and town of Kirkland. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thanks for having me, Ben.
Of course. Tell me a little bit about this book, why folks will find it interesting.
I started writing articles for about 800 words for local newspapers back in the 70s. And I've written about 450 of these articles over the years. And the Clinton Historical Society approached me a couple of years ago about putting them together in a book. Well, that's too many for a book, so they selected 90 of what they thought were the most interesting of the articles. And this is what's here right now. 90 articles about Clinton history from 1787 to about 10 years ago.
Talk to me a little bit about some of those articles. What makes them so interesting?
Well, if you know Clinton or live there or have lived there, you have more interest in this book. But it's everything from the cemeteries to hockey to Hamilton College to businesses to churches to cemeteries. It's a sort of a collection of everything that's happened in Clinton history. Not everything, I'm sure I missed something, I don't know what. But there's a lot of history in this book. And I think if you ever lived there or went through Clinton, this would be of interest for you to buy.
Do you think there are any stories in there that will surprise people or people will be surprised to learn about?
Well, they might not know that we have 13 cemeteries in the town. They might not know that we had an abolitionist movement in the 1830s that was quite divisive. And there was one church had lost a minister because of his stand on integration and so forth. So that happened. And of course, we also had Hamilton College, which started in 1812, which is still going. It's the third oldest college in New York State. So we have a lot of history there. And of course, one of the sons of Hamilton was Elihu Root, who was born up on the Hill, and he was the Secretary of State in war for McKinley back in 1905 and 6 period.
Wow.
So we had a famous person in the history of the country born here in Clinton.
And for such a small village and small town like Clinton and Kirkland, there's a plethora of history.
Well, every place, I've always said, every person has a history, every building has a history, every family has a history, every community has a history, every business has a history. WKTV has a history.
We sure do.
You better write it someday.
I might have to.
Every place has a history, so there's no lack of history around town.
Now, a launch party is being held Sunday at the Clinton Historical Society. Talk to me a little bit about what's planned for that.
Well, we're just going to have a meeting from 2 to 4. It's not really a meeting. It's I'll make a brief comment, and the publisher will Nick Burns will make a brief comment, and Sharon Williams, no relation, but she's the editor, she'll make some brief comments too. She's the one that put this all together, so she did all the work. This is her book, really, not my book. And then there'll be a brief refreshments and so forth, and we'll make some brief speeches, but very brief. Mostly it'll be a book signing and a book purchasing.
Now, I asked about what articles folks might find interesting, but to you personally, going through all these, going back through them, I should say, what was your favorite? Which one, if you had to pick one? It's a tough question, I know.
I've never thought about that before. I don't know. I guess I like most of them.
Yeah.
But when you're interested in history, they're all interesting to me. So,
right.
And then I sit there and type them up, so I get more interested in composing the article too. So a lot of work goes into these things. It takes me a couple hours to type up one of these articles.
And where will folks be able to purchase a copy?
I'm glad you asked. It'll be at the Clinton Historical Society on the 19th between 2 and 4, and thereafter during their regular hours on Wednesday and Saturdays from 1 to 4. It'll be at the Oneida County History Center at 1608 Genesee Street at Avery Place in their bookstore indefinitely. It'll be available on Amazon, and I think it might be available on Barnes & Noble. I got to check that out. So it'll be available those places.
All righty, Richard Williams, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Again, the launch party for his book happening this Sunday, 2 to 4 at the Clinton Historical Society. We'll be back right after this.